Hey,
Hey, hey,
what up,
Yeah.
though?
what up, y'all?
What's
What up, y'all?
happening?
Oh my God.
Max is already coming
Already popping. He's smacking, and
because we've been online so long.
I mean, just saying. What's up, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Crucial Convos. It's your girl, F.L.O.R.
It's your boy I Emery.
I'm your favorite healthy hustling momager.
So, what's going on, y'all?
I'm still vibing high from the Mother's Day love.
Hey, happy Mother's Day again to all the mothers out there.
Happy
Thank-
Mother's Day. Um, how was your Mother's Day? Was it chill? Was it?
It was interesting, but I really felt good. I was proud of us having our Mother's Day release. And I watched a few minutes of it, but I want to go back and watch it. So I felt good seeing that posted. We
Yeah.
doing our thing. So
Yeah.
it was like weird emotionally for me, but then I realized like it was so many reasons to feel good, and I've enjoyed watching, all the mommies doing their thing online.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting the fact that worked out the way that it did. It was definitely important to us to, just recognize and just get a tribute, because no matter what your relationship is, someone out there has played that role of mom to you. I'm almost positive. So it was just a kudos to them or whatever. My Mother's Day, I was traveling, so
A lot of
I'm
mommies
pretty
doing
cool
their
though.
thing online.
Just a kudos. Yeah. Uh-huh. All right. Uh-huh.
Where insert the music?
Yo, I be trying, man.
So I
I
just
really do.
understand. So hold on, y'all. I don't know what's going on. Today is really, really bugging out.
Hey,
This week we are talking about parenting. Is it a job or obligation? So, Paris, what do you think, mother?
So you know me, I've always got to think about it, and I really for this one because I felt like I was looking at them as the same thing, and I really pushed myself to look at it like, how am I treating it today? Because I think they're both of them. Because someday, are you really just moving through the motions and keeping the kid alive, or are you really treating it like this is an obligation and a gift of parenting? So I think, shoot, both of them, any given day, we just trying to figure it out and trying to do my best. So I think
I
some
get you.
days I'm just treating it like she's 8, she fed, she alive, let's go. The other times I'm like, I should probably really pour into this kid. Like, this is my legacy.
Yeah. What about you?
man, I think it's both, but I also think it's a privilege. I think a lot of times we do look at it more on a serious note, like it's something we have to do versus something that we get to do. And I think those are the kids that kind of suffer
Yeah.
because of our mindset as parents. I feel like those who think in that way, and I'm talking the extreme to not so much extreme, but if your mindset is more like on the, oh, I gotta do this. Let me go take them to the bus. Let me go. If it's like that versus, I gotta get, like I get to take them to the bus. Then, some stuff I feel like is missed in how we rear them. Some stuff I feel like we just don't look at it that way because of where we're at. We like, let me hurry up and get them taken care of because I got to do,
All right.
So I try to look at it like it's a privilege, but in that privilege there is an obligation with it. And there is a job aspect, like Paris was saying. Some days it's more so the job part of it, making sure it gets done. And other days it's more the obligation. So, how about you?
All right. So I think I look at it in the terms of both because the job of it is continuing on the responsibility that God blessed you with, right? Like having that child. and the obligation is making sure they're productive within society, teaching them the morals, teaching them the lessons, and things of that nature to get through and not sucker people throughout, but really work, hustle hard, for whatever it is that they want ultimately. So I do feel like I've never looked at it as a privilege, but I do agree with that because it is so many people that suffer the trauma of not being able to carry, both male and female. I don't think individuals give enough attention to men who are sterile, and the pain that it causes them, because they also go through getting involved with kids, and when the breakup comes, things get severed or whatever. So yeah, I think that it's both, and I would like to add that privilege should be in there as well.
Yeah.
I do. Because sometimes I get on my nerves.
They always get on mine.
Oh my God.
It's just what it is, like, but it's the best thing that I do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, really, like with everything that I do, me raising these boys is the best. Like, it's the most rewarding. It's I don't know. I'm a better daddy than anything.
But I think it's so interesting because I'm just listening, and I think a lot of times I've been saying a lot, like your parenting is showing, and I see some parents out here that are just behaving badly, and a lot of people, which is hard because I think for us in a lot of ways how we talk, we're always like, okay, that didn't work, don't like that. Even when we're talking to our kids, we're always trying again. So I often struggle with some people because I'm like, dude, it's not anything special. I literally just tried again. Like that didn't work. So I tried something else. So it's hard because I feel like I see some folks and now I feel differently, and I talk more to the parents or, through their kids or different ways, because a lot of the stuff that we see in kids or the feedback that we have with kids are the same way their parents are behaving. So I think a lot of people don't think about it any of the way. Like, I don't even think they think about like what's the vision for their parenting because they're still in survival mode themselves, like trying to figure it out.
And then, like, when you go to like get a solid definition, you get shit like the activity of bringing up a child as a parent. No shit, Booger Bite. Like, can we get a little bit more in depth? Because you have some people that pours way too much into their kids. You have some people that pours absolutely nothing into their kids. Yeah. So where's that actual happy medium? You got some people that never healed or grew up themselves, so they now want to hang out with their kids way too much. I can see a time or two, birthday occasion or something like that. But like every weekend, dressing like them, looking like them, hair like them, like that's super extreme to me. And it's weird. Get some friends, not your kids.
That's exactly what it is. They don't really have them.
Get some damn friends.
For whatever reason, they, they get their reasons, whatever. You ain't got no people your own age. I've always thought it was weird too, though, for the mother and the daughter to go out on like a normal. I don't mean like birthdays or whatever, but like
just on a Friday night.
I've always thought that was weird because like at the end of the day, y'all are really competing for the same guys.
Mm-hmm. But and then
if you think about it all the way through.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it just depends on the situation. You definitely see a lot of that, but I think like still look at the different age gaps. I think right now we're seeing so many different generations of mother and daughter. So some of that is going to come together, and some of it is toxic, and some of it is healthy. But it literally goes back to your parenting is showing. So some of that stuff you're easily convinced that it's okay because
we also can't take away from the fact that the mothers that's hanging out with the daughters, like I said, is still trying to seek that attention that they missed out on because they were parents at such a young age or because they went through whatever trauma they went through. So now they're trying to make up for it. But I just don't feel like with your kids or your daughter is the way to go because, again, as Emery said, the men that you're seeking, you are ultimately competing for, but they have no chance with you. So it's just about sex for you because what is it that this young guy can do for you? You know, so it just it's weird. It's.
I mean, if you're out looking for guys, I mean, everybody that's out with their kids aren't always, and I mean, I'm
I
speaking.
would say so. I mean, if it's a normal thing, I would say they're
Yeah,
out looking for
I
that.
mean, it just all goes into kind of like now. I mean, because I deal with some of the parents that I see where it's still like so much work they can do. They're like the best parent in their environment. So it's they
A
go
lot
out.
of times,
Yeah, and some of these are literally just like this is now my friend type situations, and step out a little bit. But it goes into a lot of the with Janelle's business. I talk to a lot of moms that are behind these kidpreneurs, and some of these moms are young, and their kids are like little millionaires, but I remind them just like on the airplane, like you got to give yourself oxygen first. It's like that self-love, and I think the lines get blurred so easy. And
Right,
it's
which is
always,
when disrespect comes in, and the kid feel like they can do and say whatever they want.
ooh,
Like
that.
like when kids and parents, ultimately when they party together, they drink together, right? So
yeah.
now your kid drunk and then completely forgot who the fuck they talking to. So now you done had to slap the shit out your kid and remind them that I don't give a hell what you done had. You can't blame it on the liquor tonight, T-Pain. You knew what you was doing. You was just trying me. So,
Wow.
that's why I try not to blur those lines. As you know, having 2 adult children and then little Eric coming out, like it's certain things that I'm just not gonna have. Speaking of, okay, so y'all know he graduated in apps exactly what is it, 9 days?
Ooh,
So
time makes me sweat.
so he came to me the other day. He'd been out of school since the 10th. And he was like, "Hey Ma, can I go hang out with my girl?" I was like, okay. Because of course I still question. Like, I got 3, and out of the 3, only one I'm graduated. It ain't my fault. It was their decision. So I had to get over that because for a long time I blamed myself. And then when I sat and heard their conversations and thought about it, I was like, that's just what they wanted to do. Right. So anyway, he was like, "Can I such and such?" So I'm like, "Yeah, sure, whatever, go ahead." Such a good kid. Then around 10:15, I'm like, did he alter his curfew? Because it's been 10 o'clock, So I text him, "Running late, eh?"
I like how you get down.
Probably 2 minutes later, he was walking through the door.
Okay.
We stay in Castle Rock, Colorado. My baby is 6'2" and he's black. So I need to know. I don't want to track you. I don't want to do all of that. I feel like I can trust you enough, to protect yourself and do what it is that you're supposed to do because we've had those open conversations. So parenting is hard. Like it is hard because you have to constantly contort yourself to whatever that child is going through at that particular time, to not take the tone personal, to really understand, oh wow, he been in his room for about 4 days. I don't know if I've seen him eat for 3 of those days. Like,
Right.
let me knock, and I still knock on, even though yes, it's my house. I still knock on the door, knock, knock. I'm coming in. Like,
I do that.
you got 2 seconds, motherfucker, 2 seconds.
Okay.
But I'm on my way in. Only because as a mother of boys, you sometimes walk in on shit that you don't want to walk in on. So you better knock on that motherfucking door.
I do it. I do it.
When you got boys, you gotta like
What else you gonna do?
a little more than that. What up, Bobby? Bobby,
Bobby, what up, bro?
I didn't even know. I'm sorry, Bobby. But Bobby said, "Your kids are a mirror of you. I love being a parent. I try not to be too judgmental as a parent because I'm fresh out the gate.
It is work.
It is work.
Yep, it is.
A lot of work." Parenting or marriage? Which one harder?
Marriage.
Mm.
Marriage. Because you can make your kids do certain things up until a certain point.
Mm-hmm.
So you have more control then versus in marriage, you don't have control. You shouldn't have control like that. So the responses are different, and then you miss stuff. You know, yeah, I would say the marriage. Both worth it, but I would say marriage. How about you?
I think I agree. And pretty much really for that same reason, you can make them do whatever up until a certain point, and then after that, it's like not necessarily. Yeah, not necessarily compromise, but just more of, as I always say, guidance. Like after your kid is 18, you can no longer parent them. You can only guide them and advise them. So, but a marriage, it's a lot of compromise. So you can't just be like, hey, we buying this car today, and that's what it is. I mean, you can say that, but then you're gonna get it. So just kind of is what it is.
Yeah, but I would go with that. Definitely 100%. Marriage is tough. Parenting is too, though. I'm not, because you have to choose one. I've got to go with the marriage. They're both tough.
Like you said, you can, lack for a better word, control the kid a little bit better than you can the spouse. So
especially early on, and then how well you do early on
will carry over.
Carry over as long as you can, stay on those.
And then the kid is yours. The marriage is a choice.
Right.
So some of that stuff is kind of like, built-in credit.
Facts. The guaranteed, yeah.
Period. So as a parent, to both of y'all, as a parent, if your child was an alcoholic or a drug addict, how would you handle it? Emery, go.
I would talk to him a lot. That would be my main thing. Would be I would definitely talk to him a lot about not being that way, about not doing it, and if he was the type to start stealing from me or something, that I would have to cut him off. And that would be to save both of us, because that's a level of disrespect that that gets you messed up.
Right.
Just being straight up. So, but I would try my best to help him. I would do everything in my power. If you need to go see some people, you need to take you to a rehab spot.
Yeah.
I'm doing everything I can. So
your bottom line breaking point is disrespecting and stealing from you.
Yeah, any kind of disrespect, lying, stealing, stuff like that. Yeah, sowing discord or whatever, too much that I'm gonna cut you off.
Yeah. What about you, sis?
I think, thinking about that now, similar to Emery too, I would like to think like right now, just because of the type of parent I am, I would notice like some change, like the way they are. So I would already probably be all in her face, like what is going on? Something is different. And I think now it's kind of like the same privilege. Luckily, because of the year or the time that we're parenting in, I already can kind of talk about some of those situations coming up. So now we already know like things are going to be different because of your choices. Every choice have consequences. So I think the same thing as we go through that, if it had to go as bad as like a Medea movie, you're not going to see me being the mama that the whole house is empty and caught on fire because I keep letting you in. And I think now it's wild because I have
That's funny, but I feel you 100%.
Yeah. And then like now, if you talk about my family, we literally have experiences. Like I can tell you, like, you remember cousin such and such who was on crack, and this is what happened. So like,
no, for real,
it's not even gonna go that far. So I think it's the same thing. Like I would just have better resources and tools, so I would, have to use those. Just like I'm fighting all the things now.
Yeah.
You would definitely hope to be able to catch it though.
Right.
You would hope so, but that's them kids, they'll get you, and then there'll be times where we'll be like, they just being a teenager, and we busy at the same time, and we sometimes I've had to go back and check. I do now. I go back and check, go back again and check again, and make sure that we on the same page. I still do that, and age 14. I don't have to do Emery like that so much. Emory wears his on his face. You can tell. Nate is me. You won't really know unless he wants you to know. So I definitely go back and double check. We talk a lot, man, a lot about what's going on, about girls. Maybe they want to keep some stuff or talk to each other. I don't know, but tell me something. You have to. So and in turn they get to ask me questions. They've asked some heavy questions about the end of me and their mama.
Yeah.
I don't give them pure out details, but we definitely had more conversations about the stuff. They have questions. I had questions. Like I said, like I thought my mama and daddy got divorced because I punched Chrissy in her face for jumping on my bed for years. I thought that's what started it. Because who was I gonna ask?
Yeah.
No, they did not make it comfortable. What's the safe space? There was no safe space.
Yeah.
Back then to talk or bring up nothing that you had on your mind. So I definitely do a lot more of that talking. And then, like I said, I go back and make sure, hey, you sure you good? You sure you good, right? Remember that stuff we were talking about? How did that end up?
Hey, Crystal, welcome.
What's up, Chris?
All right.
How about you?
I got tolerance for a lot of shit, right? Like a lot of shit.
Okay.
But that I don't have tolerance for, and I'm almost positive I'm almost positive that my kids will keep a very far distance because it's been an open conversation for a very long time, right?
About drinking and smoking?
About not really drinking, excessive drinking, not smoking weed, but hard shit.
Abusive. Abusive.
Right, being just a total crazy lunatic addict, being super irresponsible. But because I have trauma from that, I don't allow it in my space.
Okay.
Right? I don't really care who you are. As I always say, I work way too hard to get myself to a point to allow somebody else to take me back.
Yeah, man.
So I will, as y'all say, notice if it's around me, but I'm almost positive that it wouldn't be around me because they know I'm so aware. I'm so in tune. You're not going to be able to do this without me, inquiring on what's going on. And I know when you're lying, so that's going to be hard for you as well. So I know they all smoke weed. I know, the older ones drink because it's legal. And shit, a lot of people be like, what they not gonna do, but when your kid is exposed to certain stuff, it's just, and they open with you things that you say you would never accept. You do shift because
you have to.
It's for the greater good of their kid. They're gonna do it regardless.
Or you'll lose them.
Or you're going to lose them to the hard shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because they're gonna go to the streets. That's how they're gonna survive, and then it's gonna continuously go left. What's up, sis?
Oh, right. You saw me ready. And I was thinking, like, right now, it's just so great because with Janelle, I literally, like, use them at, like, I'm gonna tell you, especially being a single mom, I remind her that we have a village, like, definitely. And I express how I would want her to communicate to me. So I'll say, like, well, you did that, you never did that before, so I was scared. So I didn't know if we needed to call Misha, do we need to go to, like, I call out the village and the people, like, do you need to talk to them? Because if you can't tell me, like, let's figure this out. Like, what's going on? So I think now, like you said, you grew up because the way we've learned to heal, we only pour that into our kids and make sure that we, keep up with it.
Right there.
Yuri is smashing.
Like, but wait. Why he took no swig or nothing? Like, I ain't seen him drink.
Like, I want a cucumber so bad, but I'm like, I gotta keep talking. Emery not taking a break. Like, is it somebody else time to smack? Because I'm sorry, I just was like, how is he? I mean, that arm, like, is it popcorn? Like,
no, today's snack, trail mix.
Hungry.
Not the gallon bag.
Okay.
Listen, I made it. It's my own little mix. I get dry cranberries, dried pineapples.
What in the once you start, you can't stop.
I can't. I know. Isn't it good? And I ain't ate all day.
I was trying to ignore, but I was over here like, meanwhile, my fork looking at me. But the way he said, I'm not even about to start because I won't leave you by yourself. So you won't be over here while we both eating. Like,
Man. Shit,
Well,
I'll go grab my snacks. I ain't gonna be left out.
okay, what minute? Y'all get y'all snacks.
right, let's everybody have a snack day because I'm eating them weekly. I'm just letting you know.
I was like, how did he get the words out? I didn't see him pause.
We
I
didn't tell
know.
you, we keep it 100, we keep it real. So if that ain't what you want, this ain't the show for you.
I
Like,
know that, but if you want something pristine, we gonna mess words up. They're like,
we gonna stumble over comments, but we're gonna give you our real raw opinion. You know, we gonna show love. We're gonna do what it is that we do best, and that's just make sure that we keep it 100. Ultimately, but so what do you all think about this gentle parenting shit?
Oh, well, how you gonna lead the witness?
lead me, dear.
That was layered with.
You can lead me.
Layered with opinion.
I'm just wondering.
I'm not a fan. I'll say it that way.
I think it's a setup to get you laugh later.
Because it gives kids too much power.
Right.
In my opinion.
Right.
It's like you're a dependent. We're not equal. You're not little humans. You're kids. You're my kid.
You ain't little humans though. They are little humans.
But you know what I'm saying? Like I don't mean like not technically. But
they're not little adults.
Yes, you're kids. Like get out of here. And these are the rules in my house till you get out.
Right.
I need to tweak some stuff, absolutely. But it's like if you touch a plug, you get your head popped. You know, you talk back, you smack in the mouth. Don't do it. There's no way. That's why, and that's that's one of the major reasons why I don't want any more children.
Right.
So if you own that, if you're one of the types, you know, that you still want kids, that's what's up.
Yo, after about 35, that reflex is uncontrollable, okay? Like there's absolutely nothing you can do to stop that backhand from making contact with that skin, be it the face, be it the chest, wherever it lands, just so I'm sorry, not sorry. Like I don't want to hear, I don't want to hear all that extra shit. I don't want to hear the smacking of the yo, I remember. I remember, like, I used to have attitude, of course, as a teenager. I got real good at ducking, right? Because, right. Like, Mike Tyson, you know, like, because she didn't give a shit about tossing a shoe or a hanger or a purse. Whatever was right there when I pissed her off was being chucked at me.
Well, that was my mama, too, boy. God. I'm like, y'all would have been pictures. I'm talking about aim. Like, dog.
Didn't care if it hit you, made contact, didn't care what you can have a whole cut in the middle of your head, and her response gonna be, you should have washed your damn mouth. That's gonna be her response.
I really do.
That's
horrible.
So I think I went two different ways with this one. One, you know, I think it's just the same thing, like where it needs to be more communication because too much of a good thing is terrible. But I do like that we're exploring different ways of parenting because we just take it too far. Like the gentle parenting just goes a little bit too far, and then people are really confused why their kids are slapping them. Like you have to have some balance. But at the same time, when I think of like, well, why do they think this is okay and think they can really survive like this? I was listening to a podcast earlier and like, these are the generational curses from 3 generations ago. So like these people aren't thinking or doing anything through because like this is what they talk about. So it makes it like your when you meet these grandparents who are like 40 with 50, you know, and their daughter is like, you know, it makes sense why everybody is acting like friends because you literally are just now starting to live your life because you're a grandma, 35 or whatever. So it's too much.
Became a granny at 40. I became a granny at 40.
Yeah.
It happened.
But it's different. It's like you do different work. So it's different situations, different environments, different choices that you decided. you know.
The granny at 40 happens. It does happen a lot more these days.
Right.
But that's parenting, and that I don't like the gentle parenting stuff. I feel like it's because we care too much about these kids' feelings.
Yeah.
And I'm saying too much about them. Clearly, you
Well,
should.
look at society. You know, like some of these kids and people aren't like you're seeing more mental issues are coming up younger and younger. So some parents like out of trauma and fear are feared into like they don't know what to do but just be gentle because you're right because they like it's too extreme.
Yeah, that is not a whole nother aspect to look at it. I think that every time we kind of overdo the feelings, I feel like that's when you get more of these illnesses that are overdiagnosed, like anxiety and depression and ADD, ADHD, all that stuff. I feel like um, not that you again when you care too much about their feelings, when you put too much emphasis on how they feel. Well, if they got work to do and they know that I can tell mama I don't feel like it or something hurt me and she gonna butter me up and she'll end up doing it, then I'm gonna do that every time.
Right.
Kids, they're smart, they adapt quick, they learn fast, and they know who they can do it with.
Right.
And one of the pitfalls that I see with gentle parenting, and it doesn't mean we shouldn't adopt new things. Like you were saying, we are exploring. This is a whole new way of doing stuff. Our parents didn't do that, and our parents were easier on us than their parents were on them.
Right.
In most cases.
So,
you know what I'm saying? So generation gets softer.
Is it fair to say? Okay, so you did kind of just answer my question.
Like, ask it anyway.
Well, I was gonna say, is it fair to say that some that are that gentle was that traumatized?
It got to be.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? And they just feel like I hear the conversation of, in so many words, discipline is abuse. So when they're asked, well, how do you go forward with, disciplining your child? Then it's, the timeout, taking away devices, all this, all that. Like, if you got a project kid, taking those devices ain't gonna matter. That's when they're gonna go out and start robbing people and breaking into cars, and doing all that. Versus you really sitting down, digging into what's going on with this kid, getting to the root of it so you can help them get to a better place. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think I've ever believed in taking the device thing. Maybe because I put an age limit on it before they could even get it. So I didn't have my kids didn't grow up with the iPads and the tablets and that's my grandbaby. That's not, my kids. So I didn't really have, and they had each other to play with. So I can't even really say that when they were punished, they was in a corner because they had a sibling in there, like tapping at them, or you know how they do. So a lot of times it was more of the old school discipline, that was just, I guess you can say, all that I knew until I got to a point of them being able to communicate and articulate that, all right, yeah, you're doing this, but it ain't really doing nothing, so it's like, all right, well, now I got to learn on a whole nother level of how to get through to you. And that's when real life examples would come through and I would just have to be real with them. That's the only thing that will really, I guess, prepare them, scare them, if you will.
I think that stuff comes from the fear of, because kids have always committed suicide. Generation, forever. And I believe it stems from stuff like that, or them, being bullied and never said nothing and they end up killing people or something. And so I don't think the premise of the gentle parenting is wrong at all, because we do need to, pay more attention to our kids. I see it that way. We need to pay more attention. And I'm sure that the parents of the kids who, committed suicide, they feel like they missed it. I know that there's no way you could. So moving forward, and then the friends of the people who passed away, they're hearing the conversations, and I just think stuff like that, like not necessarily just suicide, but very traumatic events, whatever it could be for you, and them not hearing about it, or they start abusing drugs because they were sad about their granny who passed away, whatever. And so, the approach is what I think they were trying to go for. I don't know exactly, but I'm thinking the approach that we have should change. But I don't think we ought to try to make kids equal to us adults. I don't think that gives them an adequate understanding of authority in the hierarchy of life.
What? Oh, go ahead.
Go for it.
I was just gonna say these are the same people that you got to make brush their teeth and wash their ass. So I don't know how the authority, be there to, do anything like.
And I think, well, tell the age of y'all kids.
Oh, 19 and 14.
23, 22, and 18.
Okay, so like my kid is a whole different generation, and I think some of this stuff is great conversation, but I feel like for me, like it's a privilege to have like my grandmother who is 83, the silent generation, and her being in the same household as my daughter. But that's exactly why now I'm the mom who is out in the community. Like little kid that I know, you're not gonna walk past me. I learned their names. I say hi, such and such, and I call them out. So I think for me, especially, and this is only because of like the lessons I've had to learn over the few years, but it's literally like we got to get out there and show these conversations, because some of this stuff, these kids are smarter. So like the different generations or the stuff, like my kid didn't do this, and but like Janelle has a whole business, or some kids are in 5 sports. So like the kind of thing of before when we didn't need phones, it was because the whole community helped you get home. I've been in situations where the community didn't help me. Like, so Janelle, not only for her business, but it's just different times. So I think now for me, I feel more of the like challenge where I'm talking to the parents, like us back in the day, people, no, for real, that's how I feel. Like, back in the day at the church, you got in trouble by everybody, not just your mama. It's not like that anymore. You can't talk to other people's kids. So now I'm more so,
that's true.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of, I have to push my friends, or even my older friends, or like I push you guys, like we got to ask more questions, because we got a lot of opinions and judgment, but people ain't going out there and helping that mama who, yeah, she messed up, shouldn't have did all that, but now she's there, and now she needs somebody to help her out and give her, some of that guidance.
So I'm kind of happy that you said that, because that we would definitely put into the next episode of what we was talking about, because it's kind of hard to go and offer that help because they take it offensively. You know what I'm saying? And they feel like they're not doing something properly when you're just offering advice to make it somewhat easier for them, but they instantly take it personal, right?
Okay.
So I think a lot of times people just shut up because they don't want to have to deal with the aftermath of the insecurities of the person.
Right again.
Well, yeah.
That's like,
you would.
You say, yeah. I mean, because back in the day, they did the same. Sister such and such still was giving you, in your face next week at church, even though she was on your tail at whatever service last week. Like, and I think even with my kid, like just that balance to know to remind them, like, still love you. But some of these people never had those conversations then. And we are, we're seeing parents with younger generations who they're doing very well, but mentally, and all of that work, not so much.
Right.
And kids showing, because these kids are lit out here, and you can't tell them nothing, just like the parents.
Yeah,
I agree. Definitely, it is hard though.
I think that my last relationship, trying to become, trying to integrate families and whatnot, was kind of tough, because she had a kid that was older. And like I said, like how I get down won't work.
Yeah.
Can't come in with this guy. He's already like, a middle teenager, and try to, put all that way. It won't work. And then there's no guarantee that me and her gonna work. So if I start that and stop it, it's gonna be abuse, because I wasn't there long enough. And then it's like parenting, man. Like it's really tough when you for a single man or whatever who's trying, who's dating. Uh, the mothers usually, in a lot of cases, not all, but in a lot of cases, their dad's not around or he's barely around, and there's no help. And, asking them how do they do things with them or seeing how they parent their kids, you know, it brings me a question of do I want to add this to my life? You know what I'm saying? Do I want to insert myself into this chaotic situation that I would call chaotic? Because I feel like, yeah, you got to be the kid. I need you to be done parenting or pretty close to it. In a sense, I think it would be easier for guys who are intentional parents to be involved, unless you just go to some class and learn what's the gentle parenting or some Dr. Spock stuff. You go find some other kind of way to do it. But I think it's extremely hard to kind of figure out how to put that balance in, especially when my kids have been in boot camp their whole life. Then to get to a place where these kids they're offended if you say shut up. It's that's a little tough. Have you experienced anything like that, Paris?
Yeah, it's so interesting, and I think that goes into our previous relationship before, because I think I ran into actually a guy I was engaged to, and I knew he struggled with communication issues in just the relationship. So then parenting, that came out as like, I'm gonna whoop you, or whatever. And for me, it wasn't that I was against whooping, I just never had to because of the way I'm able to communicate. So I think it definitely became tense, and I never, it just all goes into like how you can communicate. But it's very hard because there's some guys that think they come in like, if I'm gonna be a part of this household, I'm gonna do this and this. So it really is just a difficult and tough situation. So I think like you being able to understand, like, if you consider it chaos, because sometimes it really isn't chaos, it's just some certain conversations that people aren't used to having that need to be had. So it definitely gets, or you get some guys who are like, I'm just dating you, what about the kids? Like, I don't want to be involved at all. Then that gets weird, just like we talked about before.
Yeah, that's a no bueno for me. I can't get jiggy with that shit. I just can't. Like I've told my husband at certain points that my kids came before him, so I'm definitely not finna. And he helped me raise them. So you just recreation. So I'm just hitting my head. What y'all feel about parents who bribe their kids to get what they want? Will like get what they need out of their kids?
What type of bride?
What do you mean, like long term, like lifestyle, or do you mean like if you get all A's, I give you a snake, like that kind of bribe?
No, that's not a bribe. That's a reward.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
Oh my God, Johnny. If you clean your room, then I'll buy you those shoes you wanted.
Ain't that the same as the snake?
No, that
Because I'm asking him to do it.
that room is a chore, right? Like, so
Like, you
that's
should do it anyway because you dirtied up your room.
right. That's your chore. But if you get good grades and you're just an all around good kid, like that snake is a
We
reward.
call those incentives.
Oh gosh. Okay.
I mean, it's definitely a balance. I think are you talking to, like, I don't
Just
know.
explain it a little more.
Because I've done it. That's what I'm saying. But I
Well,
call
no, like I said, what y'all saying are incentives, but I'm not gonna pay you to clean your room. Like if it's already allotted that we have allowance for you washing the dishes, cleaning your room, yada 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 yada. But for me to just come and be like, oh my God, Chris, I just asked you yesterday to clean. Okay, if you clean your room, then I'll take you to the trampoline park.
Yeah, you do see that. I don't play that. I might have tried it.
In my life. Ooh, that's crazy.
Yeah, because in my head, I started with the chore, and if the stuff's still dirty, then clearly the chore not working. So why you playing with me?
Right.
Like, and then then I got to go back into what I had to do, and all
Right.
that stuff. I think, but I still remind. But now I catch myself with Janelle, like how I fix myself. If I hear myself turning into my mom, I stop and then I circle back, like Emery always says, and say, like, I said that because this. And you know what? You know what my mom used to say? This,
Right.
this, this. So this is why I'm doing this. So I do explain way more than
For sure.
before, but
for sure.
But it changes. I feel like because now it's some stuff I just look and Janelle's like, is it about my room? Yeah.
Yeah, but that whole bribing, I told you to do it. You didn't do it. And then I'm gonna beg, like I'm gonna pay you to do it.
Right.
You about to pay me, not to like
Not to smack your lips off. Nigga, step in your neck.
Because now I thought of 5 other things
that you finna do.
Yep.
Right, that you didn't do. Like, look, no joke. I made Nate, he's supposed to be over his mama's house. I said, yo, you left your kitchen a mess. And when you was doing laundry, you left your clothes on the floor. So, ride that bus over here. Come take care of this stuff. Like, even I don't play. I don't do it. One time last week, Emery was finna go to a gig. I said, them dishes ain't done, G. I'm gonna be late. So you supposed to been had this done. I'm not finna bribe you. You gonna miss out because I told you to do it already.
Right.
Like the other day, I'm telling you that I'm not asking you how do you feel about it if you want to do it. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's a big difference between the gentle parenting. How do you feel? Do you feel like cleaning your room right now?
Yeah.
I'm cool on. Saying that sentence just did something to me.
But it definitely, that's why I wanted to call out the age difference of kids, because even like Janelle, or you think of like these different babies, like Janelle was little and in the dark singing a whole concert. Like, how are you entertained? Like, and then especially for her to be a kidpreneur, like different than you take her phone away from her fingers are now the most creative thing ever. Like, it's different. Like, the same stuff they used to work doesn't work. So sometimes you really have to have conversations. But I also was that same mom when they were a baby, like, don't talk to my baby like in that baby talk. We talk to her like
a person.
Tired. Yeah. And so with that comes like, well, now she talks to me like,
I ain't never talked to them. I've always talked to them like they were adults. Like,
I did the baby thing.
Yeah, when they were like itty bitty.
When they was babies. And after
Right.
they started talking, I talk different. I never made a big deal about like if somebody, like if they was 1 or 2 and I'm still holding them or something, and somebody be like, look at them. I never made a big deal about them doing that because number one, they're not in my life. They just seeing them for the first time in a while or whatever.
I just responded, baby.
Huh?
I'm fine. I just would respond for her like, I'm fine. Say
I swear I can see you doing that too.
Sure did. When they Google, you say hello. What? Let me translate, baby.
Homegirl said you gonna use your words. That's what
you have them.
Right. You're gonna use them. You're an adult.
We're confused over here. What is God gonna go? What?
I don't even know what you're saying to my child. So
first, like,
no, I don't. Yeah, I think I definitely done that when they were itty bitty, but as they started cooing back, it was more of me just saying, words or actually talking to them. Same with Aviana. So I think it'll always be like that with me. I don't know. Sometimes, Emery, do you feel? I know that you want your daughter, right? Like, I know, like, if you like, okay, that's like a dream, right? But it'll never get fulfilled. But do you feel that, like, you had, like, it's complete? You had enough. Like, what you were supposed to have, you had.
Kids,
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because and I'm saying that in the sense of like you get what you're supposed to get kind of way, not like I didn't miss some opportunities or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if I would have taken those opportunities, we would have, I would have had a girl, I'm sure. Or maybe, have all boys. I look behind me. I see that little thing. What the nigga? Wait a minute.
He's so aggy.
That's my baby.
Nah, is that in my background too?
Yo, you didn't look parents, you ain't have no feeling.
No.
Dang, it's me then. All right.
Because in her head, she probably saying that's my DJ. Oh,
listen, because I'm looking like, wait a minute. Now I know Emily. I felt I'm in my back.
Like a scary movie. Like, look.
I don't like scary movies at all. They were trying to make me go last weekend.
He really turned around. Like,
I did like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I had to turn around because I didn't know which one it was.
And then I am all close on the camera too. The screen in my face. Whatever. Anyway.
I had to put my armor. I had to put my armor on because I have boys, right? And I have big boys, and I'm a small girl, so I had to put my armor on very early. As far as I always say, I definitely came from the fuck around and find out tribe. I will cut you. I will stab you. I will burn you. I will do whatever I didn't choke them out. I didn't done that to make you understand that this right here is not a playground and I was not created to be played with. You're going to respect me. It's not optional. I am your mother. He almost 23. He still don't curse around me. That's just something that we don't do. They don't call me by my first name. I wish they would. What?
It's so crazy because I'm like, I have friends like because their moms were so young, their moms made them call them by their first name.
That's weird to me.
Yeah, it is. And then, but that was what they wanted then and then. But if you look at Janelle, like who would choke her? Because it doesn't like really come up now. She's getting older and it's tougher conversations. But for real, like it's all different. The generations be so different.
I didn't had to do the older two. The youngest one, he was smart. He watched them get knocked out and he was like, nah, I'm cool. Like, I don't need to go down that route.
Right.
So, but them older two, they Irish twins. So when one would turn off, the other one would turn on. When she would turn off, he would turn on. So it was just consistent for about 13 to 14 years, just the back and forth of bullshit. And I couldn't check out because they were mine. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I'd be damned if I just bring criminals to the world. Like, what the fuck? That wasn't a plan. So, but the question that I asked, I don't really feel like I feel like I shut my factory down before it was time. I do. I feel like I would have wanted to try for another little girl, but I didn't because our pockets just couldn't handle it, so I was just being smart about it.
I think that we talk about that a lot for me now because before, like, I had a tough, and I used to want to be, but I had a tough pregnancy, a tough delivery. I'm a single mom. So now as I continue to go through life, I know a lot of that was like no more kids because of all the trauma and stuff I went through. So now it's more of a conversation like, Lord, please, like we done already aligned that I don't want no more kids. Don't put that on me because people are having kids later. And now, especially how I appreciate a lot of these kings or whatever want to continue their legacy and I see the importance. But I'm like, Lord, no, I want to. No, but I think that also what it was leading me towards is me studying for my doula stuff. So maybe it's channeling me in a different way because I really think I'm close. But I think, like you said, I think if it would have been a different situation, I probably would have had more kids because why not? You love happy hour and popping them out.
Yeah, and I love kids too, man. I always have. I love them now to this day. I'm my DJ.
He watching a scary movie like in the dark.
Listen, I know I can be turning these cute lights off and put the real ones on.
Yourself.
I am. That's why I keep my stuff ready right next to me.
He ready to yell like, Misha!
Watch out behind you.
Okay, even though he already running and it ain't even his house.
Hey.
Like, girl, I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I'm telling you, life is really different. It's just me and him here now. The older two are gone. Husband is gone. So, and he don't got school no more, so he be here like all day long. And Ma, what we gonna eat? Ma, what's for lunch? Ma, I'm so call me Kamisha. Stop calling me Ma.
Who I've made my kids call me Bob.
Man, stop calling me Ma.
Don't say daddy. Don't. Don't.
Y'all just
Stop calling me that.
Y'all old and washed up.
I don't care.
Years ago. This was years ago when I made them. They still be talking about it. Like, call me Bob.
Oh, been washed up.
Man, that stuff. But look, like you were saying earlier about taking the stuff away, she'll just figure out something else. That's just how they are. Like Emery's a drummer, and you take them drums, make him he can play drums. He's still gonna have to play.
Right.
He's still gonna do whatever. You take away the TV, that stuff just don't work.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it'll at least make us feel like we doing something, maybe, but it don't.
Your kids.
That don't change their behavior. They be like, okay.
All right, you took that, like you said, he gonna go and gonna create a beat.
TV. Yeah, he gonna figure. They gonna find something.
Right.
Read magazine.
Right. Or Janelle, like you took my phone. Does that mean I can't use the Fire Stick? What about my Chromebook or my iPad? Or you like?
See, I wouldn't ask. I would just do all the. You only said my phone.
That's Janelle. I have taken all of her electronics and I slid in that room and she had her granny stuff. Like it's not mine.
Ready. You should have kicked it right in the back of the head. Give me this.
Okay, that's what I start off with. Nobody.
Right. You gotta go all the way to cover them types. That's Nate. Nate is like that. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's the air.
What you said was
I'm pulling Emery. I pulled the Emery. I done poured the whole drink on my face.
Right, missed the whole mouth.
Okay. Did an Emery.
All right. I'm gonna keep all that for the after show.
Annoying.
Dun, dun, dun.
Annoying. Annoying.
I'm not do it. See.
All right. So today I really am excited that we did come forward and talk about parenting, because a lot of us are really hard wanting to know that we're doing it properly, or just making sure we're doing it properly. Shit, I mean, that's just really the bottom line, because I questioned a lot. Like I said, when they didn't make certain things happen, I blamed myself, when in reality, I knew that I poured everything I had into them, and those decisions were their decisions. Us as parents sometimes take their decisions as our failures. It's not that. It's just their decisions. You feel what I'm saying? No, so if this season, we typically end the show with what our intent of you taking away. So Paris, tonight we're gonna start with you. What's your intention?
Okay. My takeaway really for this is just remember, like, all the old sayings. Like, it takes a village, and I think sometimes we've gotten in our own way and get embarrassed or scared to ask for help. But now's the time. Like, if them kids is wearing you out, like, phone a friend, and just remember that if it feels like a job, if it feels like an obligation, if it doesn't feel good, like, talk to somebody about it. Like, say something, because it takes a village for real.
All right, I'm gonna go next. I'm gonna just show this right quick. Honest mom moment. I need a time machine. I was not supposed to be a mom. My takeaway, pay attention to your friends' actions. Pay attention to your friends' words. If they say when you call them, no, I'm good, work on it a little bit more. Because 9 times out of 10, if that message was put out, it was a hard day or a struggle that came about, and now they're questioning their decision because that village was not there that she thought or hoped would be there. So just be aware. My takeaway is be aware and be available. It's my takeaway.
I think mine is more so like take joy in it. Take joy in the ugly stuff. Like you're gonna laugh at all of those stories. I swear to you. The worst stuff that's ever happened, we laugh about now. You know what I'm saying? In the moment, it wasn't joyous, but my overall purpose for being a good parent was more important than anything else. I do feel like we need to put our kids first again, and not in the way like above a man or a woman. Like our goal is to rear them, to get them ready for the world. Okay. And if we're not really focused on them, there's times where you can't put the sole focus on them. I clearly understand that.
Right.
But it needs, in my opinion, it needs to be a major priority because the kids can't lose. And then also it's like an investment. When you get old, we're gonna take care of you. It's an investment. If you married or not, both of y'all gonna get old. You know what I'm saying? So it's not about so much if you're single or not. You don't do it solely for that, but that is a wise thing. You don't want to, you know what I'm saying, push who's gonna take care of you? Because we all gonna get old. If you make it, if you don't pass away earlier, you're gonna get old. Then what? Hope you got your business straight. You can do everything as much as you can until you become a little too old to make those types of decisions. So just take joy in it. Parent them kids. I love how weird my kids are. I'm talking about, and I made them embrace being weird early. Because I know everybody around me talks cash trash. So if you're not comfortable with you and how you get down, you're gonna be ready to fight, get in trouble, blah, blah, blah. Can't control your anger. But if they like Nate, he used to take either a book to the toilet with him or a keyboard and plug it into the wall and just be in there. What are you doing? So I come in there with him sometimes, have him read to me and stuff like that. Just, embrace that stuff. Hopefully he'll have those, thoughts in his memory forever. You want their experience to be good. They shouldn't always have to know y'all broke. But tonight we playing the candle game. Something like that. We get candles, but y'all lights is really off.
Right.
Stuff like that. Make it enjoyable for yourself. Tap out of the world. I get it. We got to make bills. We got to make our money. We got to do our thing. But when you're at the house with your kids, tap into them. Don't let them tablets raise your kids. Just take joy in talking to them. Help them, make them learn how to cook early. Have them teach them how to crack them eggs. That's the hardest thing when you learn how to cook.
Or y'all gonna be in the corner crying like Emery when they turn 18 and don't want to have nothing to do with you.
Oh, it's gonna happen anyway. I feel like I hold on to it. Every 19, he don't want to be bothered. I won't say that, but sometimes when I'm ready, he ain't ready. I'll be like,
he don't want to be bothered. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah. It's okay.
So y'all take that away. Tell Emery I said that.
It's okay. So, with all that being said, thank you guys so much for joining us on this episode of Crucial Convos. I am your girl, F.L.O.R.
This is your boy, Emery.
I'm your favorite healthy hustling momager.
See y'all next time.
Next time. All right. Yo.